Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome back to the Misunderstood Show. Today we have Carlos. Well, I call him the Black Carlos because he's black, and his name is Carlos.
Yeah,
so,
and that's very, in Tejas, we're a very heavily Hispanic culture. I just found myself, having to explain that a lot when I showed up to people's houses for consultations, and they're like,
"Are you from Texas?"
"You're Carlos?" I'm from Detroit, Michigan originally.
Oh, so this was like culture shock for you.
It was.
Are there a lot of Black Carloses up there?
No.
Oh.
Actually, because my father's from Barbados.
Okay.
And that's how I got the name.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, and that's how I got the name.
I was kind of thinking like he must be some sort of like Colombian or something where they're kind of like mixed.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. And so I'm like the sixth Carlos. Like I'm not,
Carlos the sixth?
I'm Carlos the sixth.
He's Dick the fifth? Fourth.
The fourth Dick. That's a fun fact that we didn't know, but I know now, and that's really important information.
That's what she said.
Rich.
I'm sorry. That was terrible. Sorry.
Perfect.
Bad for the radio.
That was perfect.
Not family friendly. Hopefully.
Sorry, guys.
It's not one of those
We
things
apologize.
that kids will get. Hopefully.
It won't happen.
Except my 16-year-old.
Yeah. And my 21.
And he'll be laughing.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that I can joke with him now a little bit. You know, it's kind of fun.
I have a 21-year-old, and it is fun.
Right.
Especially when
he's like, I like freak him out because I'm the mom, but I'm very tomboy and I grew up with brothers and I'm kind of like a dude.
But you got it right though.
But he's like, Mom.
Yeah.
But
you got that means you got it right.
You think so?
That's because
he's gonna grow up and be like, my mom is so like embarrassing.
You know what's crazy about being a parent is that being a parent, it's never apparent.
Yeah.
If you did it right. And so that was a dad joke.
Nice.
But
the fishing guys.
Yeah, but you just never know, right? Until your kids like start doing stuff and you see if they did it right or not based on your standard of right or wrong. So, yeah, my 21-year-old son, he's awesome, man. Does real estate with me.
Oh, cool.
Sent me a couple of really good leads before I got here.
How old is he? 21?
21.
And he's already killing it?
He's already
I wonder where he gets that from.
I don't know.
Are you military?
You would think so. A lot of military in my family, like my great uncles, my great grandfather, and I think a lot of that wake up early, do this, do that, and that's just kind of rubs off on you, and then either you like run towards it or you run away from it because it's literally annoying. Like nobody wants to wake up at 3:30, but I actually really like it.
That's insane.
It is insane.
I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, and then I go back to sleep.
Yeah, I wake up and I stay up.
I think every woman I know wakes up at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Around that time.
And they think about things, their lives.
All this stuff comes up. You have to have a journal so you can write things down because you'll remember a lot. Yeah. Or you come up with like really good ideas at 3 in the morning. Yeah. But I can't stay awake. I have to go back to sleep.
That's why I stay up. That's why, because the 3:30 ideas are like the best ones.
I have a realtor, Catherine. She was telling me she gets up at 3 in the morning for that reason. She's like, that's when I think best.
Honestly, you know what it is?
So what time do you go to bed? Like 6 p.m.?
I have. But that was like tequila.
I'm already tired at 6 p.m. Yeah.
No, but like, I usually go to bed between like 9 and 10:30. I have this joke where I'm like, if you text me after 9, I'm texting you back at 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, like for me, I call it God hour, right? Because I get up, I feel like there's just less humans available.
It's funny that you say that because some people call it the witching hour.
Yeah, but either one of them, I'm pretty sure that they've got some type of dichotomy or synergy.
There's
but
maybe there's like a portal that's open at that time.
Yeah, it's the realm of the majestic. It's the whimsical realm.
Nice.
But honestly, it's just like less humans, like humaning.
You think that's when Bigfoot's out?
Probably. And all of those unicorns and things of that nature.
Well, unicorns aren't real, but Bigfoot is.
I think that unicorns are real.
You do?
We could debate that topic.
You've seen that movie Legend?
I haven't. I don't know why.
It's
but it
from like
like
1980.
And it's about Bigfoot?
No, it's about unicorns.
Oh,
it's called Legend.
Okay.
And these
why would I say is it about Bigfoot when obviously Bigfoot is about Bigfoot? But anyway.
Yeah, right. Well, he is a legend. There's a movie.
He is a legend.
Yeah, he's the hide and seek champion.
Yeah, of course, of the world and the Loch Ness monster. But
legend.
Anyway,
yeah, the myth, the man, the legend.
Yeah, well, not the man.
The Bigfoot.
The Bigfoot.
He's kind of a
creature.
Man. He's just a hairy man.
Yeah. So he is.
I've seen some hairy.
He's
men.
a derivative.
I'm like,
are you Bigfoot's cousin?
Yeah. I had a stepdad that was really hairy. And he
was Bigfoot's cousin.
Well, we called him Sasquatch, but or Chewy.
Yeah. How did he like that? He
didn't care.
Out of curiosity.
He just was really cool.
Okay. He knew he was hairy. He knew he was hairy.
Hair all over the back.
Yeah, so it's like
his back. He had his own bar of soap. My mom would not use that bar of soap.
Yes.
Gross.
Well, it was hairy.
It was very. But I mean, I bet it like lather, like it's like almost like.
Well, first of all, it's like a loofah.
Yeah,
it's like
I was gonna say it's like a loofah.
It's like,
natural loofah.
He really just got his arm started, put the bar of soap down, and finished the job.
Right.
Because he had the built-in bristles.
That's actually kind of a cool idea. You should put like hair on a bar of soap and use it.
I'm gonna opt out of that one.
Yeah. Or you could just make like a horse hair, like.
Yeah.
The glove thing.
Yep.
Because I don't like synthetic products.
I don't use any. So, like, all my soap is, like, magnesium-based and eucalyptus-based and no parabens, no dyes. Yeah.
Coconut oil.
Yeah, that's all I use.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that.
You use the Yucca app?
What's that one brand? Is it Nanda Guru? It's like a pulling oil. Yeah. That's, like, my favorite thing. Like, the last 2 times I went to the dentist, they're like, we can't charge you for anything because your mouth is perfect.
Yeah,
I'm
my
like,
kids.
I know.
I have I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. We have like no dental bills.
Yeah.
Knocking on wood, because my boys not only have clean teeth, they don't have cavities.
Yes.
Never had cavities.
Yeah.
I think one kid in a baby tooth had like a tiny cavity, but it was a baby tooth.
So it was gone, and when it came back,
about it.
it was no more.
It's probably the milk.
Yeah.
He was a milker.
Yeah.
You know? But he would fall asleep with it.
He's a boy,
Yeah.
We're milkers. We love. We stay that way.
Mom, meatloaf now.
Yes.
That's how my son was.
Yeah.
So I actually could have started him a year earlier.
Yeah.
His birthday is the very end of August
okay.
29th. But I didn't because he would yell from the bathroom, Mom, why my butt? And all I could imagine was the guy, Mom, meatloaf.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna
the
be
thing that's
kid.
crazy because I have an October birthday. It's that same kind of like. When I went to school, I was always
always the oldest.
Yeah, actually, I was the youngest.
He could have been the youngest.
Yes, he could have been the youngest. So
really the
youngest.
youngest.
I was like really like I was like
oh that's true
because I was 13 when I was going into high school. You know what I mean? So it was just Then when school started, then it was my birthday.
I have a brother who was born in October. I never thought about him being the youngest.
Yeah, it's cool.
He's real mature. Maybe that's why.
That is probably
He's my favorite. I talked to him yesterday.
I'm very mature too, so hopefully I can grow to be one of your just favorite humans.
Do you have siblings?
One older brother, and my Papa was a Rolling Stone, so I have lots of siblings.
I have a dad that was like, please do not do 23andMe.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? He's like, you know why? I'm like, I have siblings out there. I've always wanted a sister.
That's my dad.
He's like, do you want anything when I die?
Yeah, because you're getting like if we have to start searching for heirs, and we have to get airship,
if we have to get
airship of affidavit. It's going to be a lot of affidaviting.
My husband found out he had a sister in 2019 from 23andMe.
Wow. I'm not going to do that. Because my dad he was 23 and him. And so I got about 6 brothers that I know
That's
about.
What they should have
named 23
it.
and him because it always has to do with him.
Why did they name it 23andMe? I wonder why.
Probably because the guy that founded it found out that he had 23 siblings
and
himself.
Oh.
Just
I gotta look that up.
Probably.
Mental note. I always listen to my show after because I'm always critiquing myself.
Yeah.
It was really painful in the beginning because
first
off, I wasn't used to hearing myself, and second,
I was gonna say, did you get the voice cringe? Did you get your own like listening? Because when I first started recording myself, I couldn't listen to myself.
Yes. I did not like my voice.
I was like, wow.
All.
And people would be like, it's so good. And I'd be like, this is trash. Not, you know what I mean? But like, just because, you're your own worst critic, you know?
I would listen to myself laugh and I'm like, oh my God.
This is terrible.
Why am I laughing? And I cannot.
I sound like this and people like it.
To laugh like that.
Yeah.
I cannot.
It's like,
laugh.
I sound like this and people like it.
I know.
That's crazy.
People are like, I love your laugh. I'm like, are you insane?
Even when people say like they like my, even when people say, oh, I watched The Loaded Conversation, or I follow you on social media and I watched you say this and
That's
I like it.
That's how I found you.
And I'm just like,
Instagram.
And I'm like, what made you stay? Because I can never, I'm just pretty much rambling about things that I'm passionate about.
I just like that you're really real.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I feel like you're authentic.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying that. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your butt. You're not even my client. You're Michael's client.
I appreciate that.
Right?
Yeah.
But he didn't even know yesterday, or was it yesterday?
Yeah, he messaged me.
Yeah. He's like, I was like, hey, dude, you know the Black Carlos?
Yeah.
He was like,
did he laugh?
Yeah. He was like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Yep.
I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
He came to my office.
He came to my office, and
we have a great product.
Yeah.
So
I need to know about that.
It's an easy sell.
Yeah, I need to know about that. So he's selling me on that product, and yeah,
I'll help him out.
Yeah. So
you're his client.
Yes.
You know, obviously, I'm not trying to step on my boss's toes.
Please don't do that. I don't have any.
I need a job
for that. But
right.
anyway.
And I'm just not that way.
Yeah.
You have agents
yes.
and other people that I would love to connect to and help them, because we are so awesome that we're saving people so much time and money and headache.
Yes.
And just all the things that I have flyers. I actually have flyers. I'll give you some.
I want some.
But that's not why I had you here.
Okay.
I really just think you're really funny and authentic.
Thank you.
And I'm a Jesus freak.
Yeah.
And so when I saw your stuff about, you know, not a lot of people post that stuff.
Yeah.
So when people do,
I don't know why people are afraid of their...
draws me.
Yeah.
Because I need more people like that in my circle. Because as a team, I feel like it takes a village.
Yeah.
As a team, we can help a lot more people get on that path.
It's super important.
Right.
Like, and that's honestly what me and Ty were talking about. Like, synergy, you know, looking in the mirror versus looking out and judging. And, you know, it's... for me, first of all, thank you.
First, look in the mirror every day and tell yourself, I love you.
Because that's super important, right?
It's empowering.
And then after you love yourself, also be honest with yourself. Like, I love you, but you did a lot of BSing yesterday. Let's try not to do that again, and let's try to do some other newer, better stuff. And
I think when you learn to love yourself, you accept yourself for your faults.
Yes.
So it's easier to
be honest with yourself about your faults. Yeah.
Because I think that people that don't love themselves is kind of like a narcissistic trait, and there's so many narcissists because they are not loved as children.
Yes.
That's the real reason. I have been studying narcissism for 5 years.
But it's your environment, right?
And I have learned we have to love people. If we want to stop this, there's been such a huge influx of people who like kids that have become narcissists.
Yes.
Like there's a lot more
environmentally driven.
Why is nobody talking about this? We have to teach people about loving themselves.
Well, there's an overflow.
And you can't love yourself if you don't believe in Jesus.
But first of all, everything starts in God. But if you don't, okay, I'm going to go all the way to the beginning. So it's like there's an overflow of narcissism right now, right?
Right.
But there's an overflow of nothing if you can't identify it.
And
okay?
I think I've had narcissistic traits in the past when I was not loving myself, right?
Every single human being to some degree, except for the very few and the very small percentage of
Jesus
growing up in the perfect households. Because I'm sure you've seen some stuff growing up that took your stimulus, space, and response. That's like my new favorite thing. So things happen in your life, right? They stimulate you. So they either stimulate some type of negativity or they stimulate some happiness or some positivity, right? Then there's space. The space goes, I hated that. Or the space goes, I really like that. That made me feel really, really good.
Right. You have a little bit of both.
And then you respond, right? But here's the thing. Depending on your gap, depending on the space that you actually have cultivated and how aware you are of that space, that is what dictates your response. So in some households,
if they kind of overlap, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well,
so you have like space between the two things?
Yes. But if
they kind of overlap, then you can't respond
well,
correctly.
You're never going to respond. Yeah, you're reacting, right? It's react versus respond.
You don't have control of your feelings.
But think about this. If you grew up in households where you actually seen people use that space in a creative, loving, sometimes separatism, like if it's necessary, hey, we have friction right now. We're not going to conclude to anything that's productive. Let's take 5.
Right.
And we can just separate temporarily so that we can gather ourselves as individuals and then come back in a responsive manner.
Right.
And so most people just don't do that. That's also...
They just don't know how.
Well, like I said, environmentally driven.
I know.
So what makes me...
It all starts with love.
It does. But here's the thing about it. Like you said, who's teaching love? What is love?
Right.
See, love is a very loosely defined term, right? Because some people love things you should hate. Because hate is,
you can't love things.
But here's the
you can really, 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 really
like them. But
you can't love a thing.
But there's people out there that believe that they do.
Yeah. It can't love you back. You can't love something that can't love you back. It's just like people who try to love people who don't love them.
Okay.
You can't really love something that doesn't love you back.
Here's another thing.
That doesn't work. That's not even the definition of love.
We're all processing information so much differently. So really, if you don't...
It's like, I love Dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. He can love me back.
How often do you hear that?
Every day.
Damn. I love Dick daily. Okay. That's why it's super important.
I'm going to have to put a rating on this show.
Well, it's rated awesome. A for awesome. Think about this. Most people you can't remove God from things. That's number one. So I don't care if you're building a business. I don't care if it's education. I don't care if it's your banking system. I don't care if it's City Hall or a radio station. Yeah. It's really, really important to include God. Now, one thing that people love about God is that there's a lot of love in God.
Right.
But one thing people don't realize, he is love, but isn't he also a little bit of hate? Like, isn't there things in the Bible that...
Well, he hates things.
He hates things.
He hates...
What does he hate?
Evil things.
Yes. What else does he hate?
Selfishness, deceit, lying, all the sins.
Okay, so...
Gluttony. Now,
isn't there a very important need for hate? Shouldn't you know what you hate?
You can't have one without the other. Just like you can't have light without dark. All the things. There's a balance.
We are very, very aligned in this conversation.
But it's how you use those two things.
Okay, so let's talk about...
You hate something to where you won't affiliate with it because you hate it. So you hate lying, so you're not going to lie.
But what about hating good things that you should be affiliating with it, and the only reason you're hating it is because something internal stops you from feeling like you're good at it, or you lack confidence in it, or whatever. So instead of being honest with yourself about...
that's ignorance.
That's narcissism.
But it's ignorance.
It is.
Because they don't know any better.
Well, think about the people that do know and choose not to.
But all the answers are in the Bible.
There's some people that are just never going to read. Even with ChatGPT.
I've never read the whole Bible.
No, neither have I.
I've never read the whole Bible.
I haven't either.
But I've studied a lot of Bible.
Yeah, me too.
I've been to a lot of Bible studies, and I listened to a lot of podcasts. And somebody asked me the other day, "What's your favorite podcast?" I don't know why I said Joe Rogan.
Yeah, because it's the one that's at the top of everybody's mind. I can't stand him
sometimes. He says, "You know what I hate?"
He
says GD.
Yeah,
he says GD
all the time.
All the time.
I haven't noticed that, but I'm gonna listen now and hear it. Yeah.
And then I find myself saying it.
Yeah, well, we're human beings.
I'm like, I can't.
God loves
say
you and
that.
He forgives you.
No, it makes me like mad.
He forgives you.
I want to like bite my tongue off.
Well, don't do that because we won't be able to do the show.
But you know what? So what I was going to say was I'm going to correct my answer to whoever I told it to because I can't remember who it was. I love 10-minute Bible study. It's on. Yeah,
there's
Spotify.
And there's also a wise thing where it's like micro learning where you just do.
But the 10-minute Bible study I can listen to for 10 minutes on my way wherever in the morning.
Yes.
And I just get 10 minutes in.
Well,
and it's like realizations of things.
So I was just
telling you like life lessons.
I was just telling Ty, micro learning is the best. Like, say if I'm like I have 10 free minutes to spare, right? The best thing for me to do, literally,
to learn
is just read 5 pages, 10 pages.
Yeah.
I read a book in like 4.5 days, and it was like the first time I ever did that in my life. And I was like, people asked me like, how did you do that? And I was like, honestly, like. I had a little bit of downtime and I'd read like 10 pages, but that 10 would turn into 20 and that 20 would turn into 30.
I think when you start to teach yourself things, it becomes addicting.
It is.
But if you're lazy and you haven't been using your mind,
which God also hates laziness.
It's like working out. Like
God hates laziness.
Out,
yeah.
And then you just don't want to.
Yeah.
But once you start doing it all the time,
you can't stop.
It's addicting. It's kind of the same thing.
Listen, that's why God literally hates.
What do they call you at the gym? What do you call yourself at the gym?
What do I call myself at the gym? What do I call myself at the gym?
I don't know. Mike was telling me something.
There's a couple of different ones. One of my favorite thing to be called at the gym is nothing because I hate being distracted. But
I hear that working out with black guys is like the best because they're so mean.
It probably is because I'm really mean.
Matt Rife says
I'm a really mean like. Ty, how am I like? Don't call me. Don't talk to me. Like,
where do you work out at?
Lifetime. Very, very.
Down in Houston?
Yep.
Where do you live at? Or what area are you in?
So, Missouri City, Rocheron, Sienna. Yeah.
I'll say, I'll come work out with you. That's too far.
Yeah. You can, though, if you want.
You drove all the way up here?
I did.
Man.
And I was extremely early because I was like, again, I'm just one of the, like you said, are you military? It's like, kind of. But like.
Yeah, you're very disciplined.
Yeah. It's the most important thing.
Right.
So, in my business, I actually have this accountability thing. He's in my group too. But like every morning at like 5 a.m, and I have to wait like an hour and a half. He's sexy.
I love his little glasses.
What? Those are big glasses, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But we'll make this happen. Oh no, I don't know. But anyway.
I'm married.
Okay.
And I'm his mom's age.
I'm sure that doesn't bother him.
Don't flatter me.
But I every morning like 5:30 in the morning, and I have struggled with myself about this, right? So like I'm up, it's like an hour goes by. I want to send an accountability message to the team, right? But you know, some of them are moms, some of them, you know, have full-time jobs, some of them are working part-time.
Right.
And it's really important to me that everybody's accountable. This is a selfish thing of me, right? Because I understand that the more accountable somebody is to their own individual life and themselves, the better that they will be for the clients that we serve and the customers that we come across.
Absolutely.
And the adversities that we'll inevitably face.
It benefits everybody.
It benefits everybody.
Yeah.
So this is a really, really cool
Because our purpose is to serve the clients and do what's best for them.
Our purpose is to serve
that's
everybody.
Well, that's the part of it.
It's okay. So first, and
people
this is
don't think
sound,
that's part of it, but it is.
That's everything. That's everything. Mm-hmm. And this is the part that it's going to sound narcissistic, but I'm
yourself.
Yes.
You can't take care of others if you don't take care of yourself.
Exactly. So by keeping accountable, so everybody thinks taking care of yourself is putting cucumbers on your eyes and whatever that stuff is you put on your face.
Getting pedicures.
Yeah, that's it. With pink, you know, for Mother's Day. But everybody,
I have ugly feet, so I have to do whatever I can to
you got to
make them
get
look
some
better.
foot balm. I'll recommend some to you.
I have a long toe.
That's as long as it's not a dry long toe.
It's not dry.
Okay.
I lotion and do all the things. I have my
You gotta have a balm.
all natural oil from Mary Kay from my girl Jenny.
Is it all natural from Mary Kay? Hold on, let me finish.
They have three.
You and I have
5 things that are all made in.
Can't you tell?
Yeah.
No, tell me the Mary Kay. I gotta finish that now because you started in my brain.
Sorry.
And I gotta know.
So Mary Kay sells a line. I think it's 5 things that they make in Europe.
Okay. And
It's
there's
only
no
5 things.
Okay, and it's a low ingredient list. No.
It's all natural,
okay.
100%.
All right.
And it's called Naturally.
Okay.
And I use it as a powder that you mix with your face wash, and you make it into like a exfoliator.
Okay. So it has the
and
real
it
raw
smells
properties.
Very raw.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like perfume or anything. And
Dick,
then,
how does it smell? Never mind.
Ew.
Dick smells it. Anyway. So listen to this story. It's really, really good. So I fight with myself every morning.
I made him blush last week too.
He's been blushing quite a bit, and I've noticed when I came in.
He's gonna fire me.
He's thought about it a couple of times. He's like, "Hey, we got an hour here. Get the shit." Anyway, beep that out, Dick. Beep that out, Dick. See, saying that in my mind.
Oh God.
Okay, so listen. Every morning I fight with myself about this because I'm up so early. I'm thinking. I get most of my thoughts out on paper. Some of my thoughts out in notes. And then I let people know like what my accountability was from yesterday.
Right.
So like early wake, I immediately start with prayer, affirmation. Then I get into a little bit of journaling. Then I get into exercise. I do cold shower every single morning, yada, yada. So I'm telling people what I did today to keep myself accountable. So today was, happy Friday. I don't say good morning. I say happy renewal because I look at every day we arise as a new opportunity. So then I'm like, I look and I see. So maybe a month goes by and like I'm telling everybody, hey, stay accountable to yourself. You're not doing this for me. You're just doing this to be heard. You're doing it to create a new habit. So like nobody's doing it, right? So true to the person that I am, I don't care if I'm seeing the result or not. I'm going to keep on doing the thing, right? The seed's in the ground. I can't control the sun. I can't control the rain. I can't control the temperature. All I can control is the rake that I have in my hand. Right. Am I going to come keep tilling the soil, right?
It's a serenity prayer.
That's what it is. And I'm just going to do it over and over again. So then like 30 days goes by. No, 45 days go by. It's like one person does it. It's like 50 days goes by. It's like 2 people do it. It's like 3 months go by, and like it's like literally this just happened like the last maybe 2 weeks.
How many people do you have now?
We're getting close to. We're right around 30 now. So
that's awesome.
Our goal is to be at about 300.
And you've got all these people kind of doing that.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
now it's 90 days later, and I wake up, and this happened like the last 3 days. He's my witness. Everybody's doing it, and it's like everybody had to.
Man, I hope you can become like the next Keller Williams.
I think we can.
It'd be life changing.
I think we can. I really.
Let me help you.
You can.
I want to help you.
I'm definitely okay with that. So one thing I learned is if somebody is volunteering help and they have a skill you don't have, you're a white female. That's automatically a skill that I don't have. So
Clearly.
Off the rip,
I think I'm taller than you. Too.
You are, yeah. So you're a slightly taller white female.
Yeah.
That can definitely open some doors that I can't, just off of that in itself. So I think ego and narcissism says I can do the ego says.
We need an ego.
You do.
A healthy ego.
That's what I was going to say. So you took the words right out of my mouth, right? Like
a humble ego.
But not too humble. Just humble enough to be humble, but not too humble to where you don't do the thing that you need to do in order to execute.
It's on my phone. So do you know what the Myers-Briggs personality test is?
I do, but
you should have all your agents take that.
So
it's so good.
It's like the STAR test, right? Similar?
Well, except it's been around for
much longer than. So the STAR test is a derivative of the Briggs test. So it's like the STAR test is a spin-off of the Briggs test. It's a personality.
I don't know what the STAR test. Okay.
It's like people. It's like attitude. Like what is your highest function, and what are your personality traits attached to that function?
Gotcha.
And then it tells you, what you.
I think the Myers-Briggs is more of a deeper.
Okay, break it down.
Like psychological.
Yeah.
Figuring out what you are, like deep down in your depths of your soul, because
Yes.
it's a pretty long test. Like you can't take it in 10 minutes.
You're gonna make me break out the book, so I'm gonna do it.
Okay. So what I'm gonna say is that man, I just lost my train of thought.
The
I hate when that
Myers-Briggs
happens.
test.
Yeah. So when the Myers-Briggs test, when you take that personality test, it really tells you like who you are.
Yes.
And it'll tell you like I don't know what all of them are, but it's like 4 letters. And so
Done.
I'm an INFJ.
Okay.
And an INFJ is kind of like a balance, and there's this thing in there how we are very balanced.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to brag.
When's your
about
birthday?
myself.
When's your birthday? Just so I know.
January 4th.
Okay.
When I text you my contact, it'll have it in there. I send it to everybody because everybody forgets my birthday.
Did you text me? I'm going to tell everybody my cell phone number, 832-973-0011. I hope everybody in Spotify land and
Yeah.
106.1 and 104.5 shoots me a text message.
It's also in the description.
Oh.
All your information,
Oh, it
links,
is.
everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that information.
While
I
you're
didn't know.
reading this, I'm going to pull up what I'm talking about.
So this is what is called the whole person paradigm. This is the book, The 8th Habit by Stephen Covey.
Oh,
so
okay.
the 8th
Stephen
Habit,
Covey.
yeah, Stephen R. Covey. So the whole person paradigm. At the core, there is one simple overarching reason why so many people remain unsatisfied in their work and in their organizations and their personal life, and that's because they fail to draw out the greatest talent, ingenuity, creativity of their people that never become great are enduring organizations. They are enduring their career. Like they're not loving it. They're not thriving.
Like everybody go to college and everybody gets some job at a corporate office.
What are we just talking about? Okay, so it stems from the incomplete paradigm of who we are. Our fundamental view of human nature. The fundamental reality is humans are not things needing to be motivated and controlled. They are 4-dimensional body, mind, heart, and spirit. If you study this philosophy, it will tell you that the mind is to learn, the body is to live, the heart is to love, and the spirit is to leave a legacy.
Right.
So this is so important to the way that we run the organization, because we don't run the organization. We just help people become their most full, fulfilled, loving heart, mind, body, spirit human.
Right.
And then we put them into their strength and gift zones.
There's a evil out in the world that does not want that.
Don't make me pull the book back out, because it talks about that too. It's the
it's
Hitler,
true. You know,
right?
the number one tool of Satan, or whatever you want to call it, is fear.
Of course it is, because it's the most controlling emotion.
That's why God says, "Fear not."
Yeah.
You know, what happened to those no fear stickers? Remember those?
Somebody got scared and they took them away.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I should make some of those.
You should. I would buy them because,
like
first of all, they're nostalgic for us, so we got money now, so we can buy them.
Are we the same age?
We should probably make those stickers and
I can't
slap
never tell
them on
black
everything.
people don't crack.
Black don't crack, baby. 41. I'm 41.
I'm a little older than you, but yes.
Just slightly?
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask.
It's okay.
No,
Everybody knows how old I am.
I don't
have any.
Yeah, you
I
don't.
was born 1980.
I'm 83.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My husband was born in 81.
Okay.
November 81.
You like him young. Okay, so
He's hot.
listen,
He's been on my show twice.
I believe that you have good taste based on those pink nails. That's, by the way, pink is my birthstone.
toenails?
Yeah.
Oh. It's my mother's
I lost
color.
my train of thought because I love that color so much. That's also my birthstone. That's kind of narcissistic of me.
When's your birthday?
October 17th. Libra,
Yeah.
right on the cusp of Scorpio. Super passionate, very stubborn, but I love people to a fault.
My husband is a Scorpio.
Oh, yeah, so it's very similar. Extremely passionate. Oh, that's why you love him. That's why she loves him. Anyway, we're just going to skip because this is PG. You know, well, stubborn in a lot of different ways that are great. Yeah, but it's working out for you in other ways.
Yeah.
He's stubborn. How many kids you got?
Well, we are blended. We have 5.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you guys are blended. You guys have been doing
We got married like 3.5 years. We met
They've been doing some blending.
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 That guy cracks me up.
Yeah.
I love that. My kids love. So that movie came out about the time that I met my husband.
Yes.
And it was kind of perfect timing.
Yep.
And so they had been watching that movie already.
Yeah.
And we're like blended.
Yeah, we're blending.
So we have 4 boys and 1 girl.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah.
It's a little rough.
Yeah. No, that's actually perfect.
She's like the oldest girl on blended.
Yeah, that's that's a perfect ratio.
You know what I mean? Like dressing like a boy.
Yeah, but that's perfect for her and them. They're like, we're gonna make sure that this is on track. What's the product that you got?
She is girly though. She does her hair.
I need to know about the product that you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, the product, but I want to talk about this INFJ paradox.
Okay, yeah.
So we were talking about how there's like a balance. So the INFJ personality, which is the rarest personality in the world.
Okay, so she just told us that she's the rarest personality in the
I am
world.
super special.
Okay.
My husband is actually also an INFJ.
Really?
Which is
the percentage of you guys being together in INFJ, which I'm thinking of a really cool like acronym.
You should hear our whole story. It's insane. He was on the show. We told her part of it. He's coming back in July to tell the rest.
I had to bring my wife on here so we can tell you our craziness.
I bet your wife's cool.
First of all, to be with me, you have to be.
Same.
But it's crazy. She's Canadian. Like she was born in Canada. Like Detroit, Michigan is border city to Windsor, Ontario. It's the best. It was born.
She's not from Texas, but got here as fast as she could.
She did, and it was during COVID.
There is Yetis up there, though. I would like to go see.
Canada's amazing. So I grew up in Windsor. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, which is border city to Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So half my life I was in the United States, half of my life I was in Canada, which is why I spent a lot of time.
My cousin moved to Detroit from Houston.
Really? Why would you do that?
He's a nerd. He went in the Air Force.
Okay.
He's super, super smart.
Oh, no, but that makes sense.
At 170 IQ probably.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So you got these INFJs, these 170 IQs.
He develop radar detection for like the cars and stuff. And now he works for like a car plant up there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because that's the answer, that literally could pretty much be the only answer. That could be the only reason that you would leave here and go there, because that's what our infrastructure is set up for.
And he says they have really cool comic book stores up there.
We have, honestly, I'm really selling it short.
He thinks it's super like artsy and cool.
It is. I don't even know why. Now I got to retract everything that I just said.
Isn't there like a part of it that they've kind of redone?
It's the best.
Like investors.
Listen, I'm about to book flights afterwards and go back. I need a Coney dog. I need to go to the comic book store. I need some Vernors and some Fagos.
And then they redid this train station.
It's the best. It's honestly, Detroit is super history rich. So the whole Detroit, Windsor, Ontario, just the whole spectrum of it, it's super history rich, right? Because when early 1900s, slavery, integration, segregation, people were going to the furthest point north. So a lot of people in Detroit are actually Southerners. South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Texas. That's how Detroit became the South of the North. So that's why there's gumbo and
makes sense. You're a black Carlos.
That makes perfect sense.
I'm
in the South, and the thing that's funny is a lot of my family.
Name,
yes,
but you're black.
And a lot of my family moved. Obviously I'm black.
You should make that like your quote.
The Black Carlos?
The southern of the north, or the north of the southern.
I just made that up, but we're going to re-listen
to
it.
The north of the southern.
Ty will tell you, I make stuff up all the time. And,
right? Wouldn't that be cool?
And we make sure that we tape it. The Black Carlos. The
north of the southern.
The southern
you
north.
can make like stickers or something and like brand yourself.
And they'd say no fear right in the middle. But anyway, see what I'm saying?
Cross.
And it's also would say blending.
You can have like a big...
See, Dick's laughing. Okay. So, but no, I want to know about your product that you can help the Loaded Realty Group with. What can you help the Loaded Realty Company with?
Oh, so we have late funding till 5:30.
Okay.
Which most banks stop funding at 5 or 3 or 4.
Yep.
Sometimes 4:30.
Yep.
I don't know any title companies that fund till 5:30.
Okay.
I don't know of any. If there is one out there, it's possible.
I don't know of any either. I'm pissed when it's Friday and I have to close and I don't get my money till Monday. I wanted to party and.
So I have an investor realtor.
Yep.
She works with a lot of investors. She does investing.
Yep.
She's very type A personality. I love her to death. Super.
I feel like I need to know her because
artist.
that's
She's
me.
In Houston.
I should introduce.
You
just described me. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna talk. Remind me to talk to you about that because I need to talk to you.
As long as she's not.
I need to introduce y'all.
Because one thing I find about A types that aren't eighth habited like me, sometimes I've been egotistical. I've been like, what do you know? Because here's one of the biggest misconceptions. Ooh, this is a good time to segue into this. One of the biggest misconceptions. Misunderstandings. That's what I said. One of the biggest misunderstandings is this. I've been doing real estate for 20 years, so blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, I don't care how long. Doesn't mean anything. It means nothing.
It actually means sometimes less.
It actually means you suck more. Because sorry, I take that back. Sometimes it can mean that you suck more, just to be politically correct. Here's the thing about it.
They become complacent.
That's the problem. It's like a relationship that you guys
they don't know how to do a lot of
become roommates
social media and stuff. They try.
They're like do you do the social media? Yeah. The social media? No, I don't do that.
You need
but I do.
young people doing your social media.
I think my son's 20. I'm like, dude, you're hired. What do I know, Dad?
I finally
Everything
found
I
a
know.
girl to start helping me. I'm so excited.
Just have a
She's
son
young.
that's 21. No, I'm just joking.
Well,
So,
I have a son who's 19, but he's in college and he works at Cavender's. And
yeah, you got to let him have his own individual life. Thank God my son loves me so much that he just wanted to be me.
Texas Tech.
That's
It's
good.
so far.
But that's so good for him. You did a good job.
He's very smart. He's my stepson.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
Listen,
he really loves his job at Cavender's.
My oldest son is my wife's stepson. You know what I mean? But that's her son. We ain't got to put a step on it. It's just, like, I just sent some. Well, I'm not going to say that because she's.
Well, people are like, "That's your son?" He's like 5'6".
Yeah, that's your son.
He's a little guy.
Yeah.
All my stepkids are little.
Yeah, and you're big. You're not that tall, buddy. You're like 2 inches taller than me, and he's taller than you. I think that's
taller than me.
It's just because Dick's small.
How tall are you?
Just because.
6'1".
Just because Dick's small, I'm not gonna let that moment pass. Okay. Just because Dick's small and I'm smaller, right? Doesn't mean anything. We're big at heart, okay? He's actually big dick. Anyway, check this out.
You know, oh my gosh, I have a story.
I'm not gonna
I gotta
stop
tell you a
that.
story.
You should have never said that. You should have said Richard. Okay.
I have friends named they're Dick and Sue Wagger. Or Dick and Sue Wager. I say Wagger.
It's Wagger. Of course you say
Dick
Wagger.
They say Wager.
Yeah.
They named their son Dick, and she calls him Little Dick.
Yeah, Little Dick Wagger.
And I'm like,
Little Dick Wagger.
I gotta send this show to them. Shout out to Dick and Sue. I
Dick
love
and
them.
Sue
And that's
Wagger.
they're so fun.
Little Dick.
So fun. Such fun
Sorry,
people.
you just ruined this for me. I'm gonna be going back and forth from Dick to Little Dick Wagger. Okay.
He is Little Dick, aren't you? You don't have another Dick?
So listen, check this out. Moving on. Dick said, let's move on. When Dick moves on,
I'm not even trying.
I'm not either. It's just happening. We're here now. Let's leave.
We're going to have to put a disclosure on the show.
we really do. So, but we love God and God loves us.
I know. I'm sorry.
Moving
I
on.
hope I'm not
He's
offending
not.
you, representing
He loves
him
this.
bad or
He's
something.
laughing.
It's so funny.
You have it. If you can't laugh.
I hope
one of
he
my
has a
favorite,
good sense of humor. I feel like that is love.
Listen, one of my favorite taglines is, if you can't laugh, what the can you do?
Yeah.
If you can't laugh, I mean, come on, man.
I listen to some Matt Rife stuff because
Yes.
I just think he's so funny.
It's
and some
important.
Of it's inappropriate, but it's so true.
Isn't life inappropriate?
But what he's saying is so true, and
but-
that's what makes it so funny.
But let's just be honest. I
I love that he's improv.
Yes.
The Red Flags in Miami. Have
Yeah,
you heard that?
I have,
Oh
actually.
my God.
Listen.
I've listened to it like 3 times.
Let me ask you one question. This is a serious question too, by the way. Isn't life kind of inappropriate?
Yeah, it is.
Our
Yeah.
life itself.
I have children.
Yeah. Life itself
It's inappropriate.
is inappropriate.
Yeah.
We try to control
Yeah.
and create.
Especially little boys.
Yeah, that's all I have is
They're
boys.
inappropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, inappropriate
Yeah,
all
when
the
I was,
time.
I'll tell you a story. When I was,
These
when
are
I
my
was,
children.
I was 7, 8 years old. I was whatever grade you're in when you're 7 or 8. Me and my friend Colin. I don't know why I'm remembering the story, but it's just about being an inappropriate boy. So we were, the class was draw. When you're in arts and crafts and you draw. So it's like, we're gonna design cutout. Remember when we had like colored construction paper, like purple,
Yeah.
blue, red, and we had like the the
Make all
protective
kinds of
scissors.
stuff.
Yeah, so we were making like sweaters and stuff like that. And on like on the girls sweaters, we were drawing 2 pockets with 2 buttons.
You remember this?
Yeah, because the girls' pockets and buttons had a very specific representation because we were little boys. And, that's what was going through our minds. So just
Oh
so
my
you know,
gosh. I would never go that way.
but that's what your kids are doing. Just so you know, when they're young boys, they're drawing
I don't
pockets
even want to
and
know
buttons.
this
Well,
stuff.
you should know, just so that you're not shocked.
I will never forget the first time my oldest son told me that's what she said.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he heard Opa saying it.
Yeah.
And finally figured out what it meant.
Yeah, and then that opened the
Or when
matrix
I figured out when
to
my
him.
own dad was saying it.
Yeah.
Or when he told me jokes that were like inappropriate.
And then you finally got it,
when
and
I'm
then
older,
it
I'm like,
opened the door for.
Oh my God, Dad.
Yeah, that's what happens.
But I was really funny in school.
Yeah.
My dad was
You're
really
not funny anymore?
I don't know. Am I? My husband does not laugh at my jokes, so.
Deep down inside, he just doesn't want to stroke your ego. He knows you're funny.
You
He's
think?
got to keep you in check. That's a Scorpio. That's a Libra Scorpio thing.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, we definitely.
What a
yeah.
dick.
Yeah. Is a big one wagon or a small? Anyway, so
We're not gonna go there because
Wagner.
I already have
Wagner.
to fight girls off sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes. Especially old ladies, they love him.
Yeah. He's calming.
And
that
young
means
girls,
that means
too.
he has a calm energy.
I had a girl at one of my events trying
Yeah.
to get up on him in her
Yeah.
little tight suit.
Oh, you notice? See, that's what I love. I love keep it real.
It's
So
not that I don't trust him. It's just she knew I was married to him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's disrespectful.
It is what it is. This is like I said. Life is inappropriate.
Yeah, but I can make jokes about stuff.
So this is the thing. This is the culture that we try to cultivate. I think the biggest look. My life is very intertwined into my business and intertwined into my family.
Right.
And so I used to try to create this like separation mechanism.
It doesn't work.
That's stupid. Like
it doesn't work.
Honestly, I just changed my profile
picture. It
picture.
just stresses you out.
It does. Because you create another daunting task for yourself that you're never going to achieve.
Yeah.
On my way over here, literally, because it's Mother's Day weekend, and I love my wife, by the way. Like, man, you know how you go through your own individual self-discovery, and then you realize that somebody, like, my wife's been tolerating me. You know what I mean? Like, to a certain extent, she loves me so much that she just, like, tolerates my personality.
I know my husband tolerates me.
And so I'm like, wow,
I know this.
How much do you have to... First of all,
I'm like, why do you even like me, dude?
My kids' names are Saint and Praise, but she gave them both my middle name. So their name is Saint Carlos Puckerin and Praise Carlos Puckerin. And I'm like...
You're kidding me.
I swear to God. And I'm like, babe, how much do you love me to have let that happen, right? And she's like, no, like, I really love you. I'm like, you don't see yourself the way that I see you. And you don't see yourself the way people see you.
Is she a saint?
She has to be. I think that, like, on the low key, she really is. Because I've learned so much through the friction and, relationships can be adverse, especially when you're in the self-discovery phase. What sign is she? Virgo. She's literally one day from being a Libra. She's September 22nd, and September 23rd is when Libra starts. It's the best pair. And here's the reason why. We are so opposite that we could be looking at the exact same thing and see it 100% differently.
Gotcha.
And that is so important. And so
you balance each other.
I thought that you would be attracted, like, and I was talking to Shai about
But you have to have similar things too.
So that's
like interests.
We do. But we
see
everything differently. So
right.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we could be talking about
money.
We could be talking about money and what we would do with it. They're both responsible outcomes, but we would be thinking totally different to get there.
That might be a girl and guy thing too.
It is. I mean, you see how I got like almost like that is a girl.
Yeah. Women just think differently than men.
100%.
Period. That is scientifically proven.
It's also really tough. That's why life is just inappropriate.
Well, yeah. That's why it's called.
Why would God make us need each other?
That's why marriage is called work.
Why would God make us need each other, but then make it a tumultuous self-discovery process so that you can
helps you grow.
It does.
If you use it the right way.
Yeah, it does.
If it's not growing you or helping you grow, you're in a toxic relationship.
Well, if it's not growing you or helping you grow, you're in a toxic life. You're not even. What are you doing?
Yeah, go fix yourself and then go find someone.
That's the mirror versus
Don't
the
go into a
window.
relationship thinking that they're gonna fix you or you're gonna fix them.
That's never gonna happen.
No.
You have to actually be 100%.
When I met my husband, I was looking for every reason to dump him. Well, I was paranoid.
No, listen.
I was back checking everything he said, everything he did. Let me see your credit karmitude. Did a background check on his entire family.
That's very female. That's very the way.
I was not like that before, though. I had to get burned.
Yeah, I think getting burned is like part of it. Like everything is rough until it gets a little sandpaper on it.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's necessary. But I think so. We were talking about how men and women think so much differently.
But he was so nice to me. I'm like,
there's something wrong with you.
This is too good to be true. That phrase, like,
that's just
when is the other shoe gonna drop? Like when?
That's woman.
You know?
That's woman.
Well,
I don't
care.
Burn, not burn. Women nurture. They protect. They create.
Yeah, but
I
wasn't
grow.
like that in previous relationship.
I think I would love to argue with you about the fact that I can tell that you're an evolutionary. Like you're the type of person that constantly changes.
Yeah. True. That phrase, like if you met me a year ago,
you wouldn't know who I am today.
All right.
You don't know who I am today.
What does it say?
My evolution is my level up, my glow up is just, see how I gave you like 4 different. Yeah, it is strong. I can tell that about you. 5 years ago, you might not even wear that hat.
A week ago.
So, let's be honest.
I'm always trying to improve.
Yeah.
I mean, like to the point where it's probably obsession.
Yeah, to the point where you like literally was like, hey, I had a cancellation on my show. I looked at your stuff. I like it. Let's do this. And
he's a fireman, so. And he just had a baby.
Yeah.
And he's in a band, and he has a roofing company.
Yeah, that's a fire you got to put out.
He's a great guy too.
Yeah.
So I wanted him on my show. He's gonna play some guitar.
Yeah.
Obviously he's a first responder.
Yep.
Haven't had any of those. I actually just had my friend Donald on the show. He saved my life, and I can tell my whole story. So this
literally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in 1998, I was right after I went to Mexico with all my Mexican friends from Matamoros for the week.
Yep.
I was hit by an 18-wheeler.
Jesus.
And I was air-lifed. I died.
Wow.
Literally.
Isn't it crazy that when you die, you live the best life after? Because like I had a very similar.
I wouldn't say that, but that's because things after that happened. Yes, it changed my life and the way I persaw life. But then something really bad happened, and then it changed my life for worse.
Okay, but then what?
I don't know.
You met your husband?
No, that was way a long time ago.
Okay, wait. So let me ask you a question. Since all of that has happened, I love this. Now we're getting to the friction.
I went like good life, bad life, good life, bad life, good life, bad life, good life.
And now you're on a great life. Because let's just be honest.
I'm on a great life.
Okay, so everything actually got
because
better.
I learned from a lot of stuff.
That has to. So the economic cycle.
But when
expansion,
I say bad life,
contraction,
I mean like
peak,
near
trough.
death several times.
Same with me.
Yeah,
and that's
really?
That's why we're
I don't
here.
think a lot of people have that.
That's why we're here together. That's called alignment and synergy.
Is that why you're so smart? I was going to ask you how you got this way. Like, did you have a mentor, your dad?
Just a really
or just
shitty... wait a
near-death
minute. Am I allowed
experiences?
To say that? Can I say that?
Okay. Yeah, you can say that. Just don't say GD or MF.
So the other day I did a video and I was like, M and F'ing, but I actually said M and F'ing and I didn't say, you know what I mean? I said, have a great M and F'ing day.
Yeah.
But I
GD,
I had a lot of really... let me just be very, very honest with you. Like, I grew up... Statistically, I definitely shouldn't be this because, like...
In Detroit?
Yeah.
Like in the, 8 Mile?
Yeah, like 7 mile, 6 mile, 5 mile, Prevost, Grand River, you know.
Is that where the black people are?
That's where the gang members are. That's where the Mexicans, the blacks, the whites. That's what separates you in Detroit is not...
Are the people, the culture of that, type of people different than they are in Houston? That same culture?
No, that runs nationwide.
That's what I thought. It's kind of the same in every
that's
city.
income bracket. Just so everybody.
Because I'm from like Austin doesn't really have that.
Yeah,
but San Antonio definitely does.
So I've been to Austin. They definitely don't have that. Austin is literally the Hollywood of Texas. It's crazy to me. Like I was. Well,
Hollywood's
in the
actually
hills.
ghetto. There's like.
It's ghetto in Hollywood. I took the helicopter
too.
ride and I was like, damn, that's ghetto. That's ghetto.
There's like
Give me your
homeless people
binoculars.
everywhere.
That's really ghetto. Let's not do
I went there
helicopter
20
here.
years ago. I can't even imagine what it's like
Temecula, California is just different when you think about it in a plethora of different ways. But
you said plethora.
When I realized,
I have a friend that says that.
It's the reading.
It's on his voicemail.
I have a plethora of services that you might be able to take advantage of. No, but what I realized is race has nothing to do with it. It's income bracket. Okay, so like I don't care if I've seen the white slum of the slum.
I grew up with white trash,
okay.
like meth heads, no teeth. They're like, oh, you have teeth?
Exactly.
Like when I tell them where I'm from.
They're like, wow, you have teeth? Like you really made it, girl.
So I grew up on the south side of Canyon Lake.
Okay.
You know where Canyon Lake is?
I know what the south side is, and usually all across the nation, the south side is
Canyon
where it's
Lake
going
is a very tourist destination now.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, I lived in a retirement neighborhood.
Okay.
If you go down the road, they call it Bethlehem.
Okay.
And
that's crazy.
It's like trailer parks.
Yeah.
In the woods.
Well,
have you seen Hillbilly Elegy about J.D. Vance?
No, but I'm gonna see that for sure.
You need to see that.
Yeah.
He's our president.
Yeah.
It's such a great movie.
I think I did see that. I think I did see that.
So in the very beginning,
I've seen some clips from it.
They're driving like through the mountains, and there's like trees and people living like kind of poor out in the woods, and then there's like swimming holes and stuff. That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
Like I'm a hillbilly.
Yeah, but let me ask you something.
My first episode, if you listen to it, he's talking about hillbillies, and I'm like, hey, I am a hillbilly. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, I'm literally a hillbilly.
Yeah, but isn't that dope? Like, don't you find that the people that have had the most adversities are the best people? Like so like for instance.
So I relate to him a lot after watching that movie.
Yeah,
like I just feel like I relate to him.
Well,
I didn't become a lawyer or a politician because I want to keep my soul. No offense, J.D. Vance.
Stop it.
He's a Christian. Listen, he goes to church.
Listen, that's just something we talked about. Like, there's light and dark dichotomy in everything. It just is what it is. Like I'm gonna piss people off. Like it's weird to me that.
A joke, man.
Well, here's the thing about it. It's weird to me that
we won't be friends.
Nobody. By the way, when you said, "Hey, let's do this show," I was like, I wonder why she wants to. I swear to God, I was like, why would she want to? Like,
because I follow you, and I was just like, I'm gonna reach out to this guy.
Well,
and it was so coincidental. Like I reached out to you, booked you, and then right after that, Michael's like, "Oh yeah, that's my client," and I'm like.
And that's what I was saying.
Crazy.
Like most people
like
are
birds
repelled
of a feather.
from my message. Like most people are like, okay, so this is what it is. People secretly like me. It's like people secretly like Trump. It's like people secretly
hate you because you're like hardcore and you don't have any
filter, maybe. I don't know what it is.
No, you're just say it like it is. Again, white people hang out and work out with black people because they're just gonna push them hard and they're not gonna like fluff them.
I literally just said this to him. I was
black women, I love them. The way that they talk to their kids and their kids just listen to them. I'm like, why can't I be more? Or like at a basketball game, my son plays basketball. Those are the ladies I want to sit next to because they're yelling.
Yeah, here's the thing about it. They're
fun.
They've gone through adversities and they've watched their moms go through adversities and they're watching their. So I like anybody healed. I like anybody that's aware. I like weird people too. I like anybody that's aware that they've been through bullshit and that now they are repairing all of the damage and they're amazingly confident.
You have to learn to be grateful for what you went through because of what it taught you and the person it made you become. Because let me tell you something. I've been through adversity, clearly.
What about the people you know that haven't been through any adversity? How are they?
I know one, and I was married to him for 13 years.
And how is he? He's
a full-blown narcissist.
See what I'm saying? Because there's a...
And I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose him.
I'm a doctor. No, I'm just joking. But I'm telling you like this.
But I'm telling you, I can show you some messages from today.
People that don't have adversities... See what I'm saying? People that don't have adversities don't have that.
Yeah.
People
I just put on
that grew up and had all the
Wilson
stuff...
Phillips.
They're just like this. When somebody cuts them off in the road,
they
chase them down, and then they get into a shootout. People that have gone through adversity is like, oh, that's bullshit.
So
I'm not going to do that.
To finish what I was saying is when I was in my early 20s, my dad worked at UT for 25 years. Okay. I was a Longhorn. I had a T-shirt that said, somebody at the University of Texas loves me.
Yeah.
And I went with my friend to Lubbock to see her
I feel like you just recently got rid of that T-shirt.
Brother. We were hanging up there for New Year's. We're young. We're in our early 20s. No big deal. We go out. We have some drinks, go out dancing. They forgot me at the bar, and I had an Uber or whatever it was.
I was going to say, there wasn't you weren't Ubering. You were calling a yellow taxi.
I had to call a taxi. I was like...
Yeah. That's crazy,
in Lubbock, there's no...
Yeah.
You have to call and wait for them to come from, like, the airport. For real.
Damn, man.
And we were, like, way over in, like, the outskirts of town where they sell alcohol or whatever, you know?
Damn, man. See, that's the thing about growing up in Texas.
Because it was, like, dry, so you had to go to, like, the Strip.
Damn.
And this house was over by the Strip. So, anyway, I just told him, like, go to the Strip. I didn't even know how to get there because we didn't have GPS or nothing. We couldn't text. We couldn't do nothing.
We had a green screen on our flip phone.
She wasn't answering. I had a flip phone. She wasn't answering. She passed out.
Yeah.
6'2". I'm like, girl, you can't handle your alcohol. What's
6'2".
She played basketball with me.
Damn. Okay, so you play ball. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, my son plays ball.
Okay.
I love ball. Okay. I'm not very good, but
you're tall.
I was BWP.
But you're tall.
Bitch Warmer Posse.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
But I made the team.
Well, you're tall.
Because I had the greatest attitude and I had the best work ethic.
Skill and attitude. What'd I say? And habit.
Yeah. I was a track runner. I broke a record from my school in track.
Okay.
So anyway, I was very proud.
See,
and I've been published in Rolling Stone.
You just gave me this bullshit story about how it was bad and blah, blah, blah. But you've done all this great stuff. So next time we talk, because we will talk again.
Because I just don't ain't nothing going to hold me down.
Diddy ain't saying that no more. But it's holding him down.
I got knocked down. I get up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
These are my songs.
I was actually just listening to that song.
Hold On by Wilson Phillips.
I was
saved my life.
listening to and Going Through Hell. It's a country song, man. I don't know what that is. I don't even know who I am. Like I said, you talk to me. I talked to myself 3 months ago. I don't know who I am today.
I got to finish my story.
Okay,
so I was in Lubbock.
And I think we got 5 when we're
and I got jumped. We did.
Oh, Jesus.
I got jumped
You're gone over.
by 5 dudes, frat boys, for wearing a Longhorn shirt.
Really?
Yeah, they beat the crap out of me.
Really?
Yeah. Like split my skull.
See,
broke my ribs.
Excuse my language here. That was white. That's mighty white. That's a white story.
Very white.
Because even in the hood, like black dudes are like, dog, you better leave that girl alone. And then the 4 dudes will beat the 1 dude's ass who suggested that. That's the internal code.
Dude,
but anyway.
I went to an all-black party in San Angelo one time.
Yeah.
It was in a warehouse.
Yes.
There was like 200 black people in there. I was like 17.
Yeah.
I never felt more safe in my life.
Yeah, because first of all, they loved you.
I was more scared of the girls
Literally,
than the
like,
boys.
black people, at that time, it was like, protect her.
I went with my 6'2" girl.
Yeah.
My friend Nancy, she's a Mexican girl.
Yep.
And then my friend Tiffany, she's a white girl.
Yep. So 3 whites and a
girl.
Mexican. Okay, I was gonna say
black girl.
There had to have been somebody that got you there.
So I'm like kind of
3
white,
knocks.
but I feel like I'm more like a mix because I grew up in like Mexico.
Plus, there's a lot of Mexicans that look white.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Mexicans that look black. I just found that out, actually, by the way. I
not
talked to a
claiming
couple.
to be Mexican or anything like that.
But your hat... No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. But anyway, so I got jumped.
Yep.
And it affected me for a long time.
Yeah.
And you know, I didn't understand why it happened to me. I was very angry.
I don't understand it still.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is sad.
So anyway, to finish what I was going to, just the point I'm trying to make is my son got jumped earlier this year.
Really?
And he was beaten up by like 7 dudes and
Are
had
you
a brain injury. And
Are
I'm
you-
still fighting all that stuff. And I have been able to help him.
Yeah.
I feel like way better as a mother, where most mothers would just feel they wouldn't know what to
Helpless?
do. They wouldn't know what to say. They wouldn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
My thing is, I've always wanted to, like, I wish I could go back and like do something about it. I never did anything about it. I didn't have parents to help me.
What do you mean when you say I didn't have parents to help me?
My parents were like MIA.
That's my parents.
I was on my own.
That was me too.
So,
Like, I love my mom.
like living in my car and.
See, I knew we were a lot alike.
Yeah.
That's why you have all the grit that you have.
I don't want to cry or anything. I've cried on the show before.
Well, go ahead and cry, because I'm going to tell you this story. And you should cry when I tell it to you.
You know, teardrops are like drips of your soul or something. I was reading this thing.
I didn't know that, but water is very, very important. I got to tell you the story, though. It's really, really important. So, grew up, drug-addicted mother, right? Not always. Started off, like you said, life was great. You know, we lived in Detroit, you know.
I just dropped my card for my mom in the mailbox.
See what I'm saying? Like, that's...
It's more for me than her.
Yeah, but see, okay, I'm going to fast forward and then I'm going to retract. And then,
yeah, sorry.
Because I know... So
I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. So my mom passed away January of 2020, right? It's fine. Like, I think everybody... My brother took it really... It was really hard for my brother. You know, when you have siblings... Every one of them has a different relationship with the parent.
For
okay?
sure.
So my brother's relationship was really like, it's my baby, da, 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 da. And I was like, you're just that other kid that I had, right? And so, like, I felt that. Like, kids feel that, right? And so my mom's, I would imagine that my mom's had an adverse upbringing as well. So it changed the way that she parented.
Yeah, she didn't know how to parent me.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that, so I hated her. I'm just telling you the truth. I didn't know that you didn't know how to parent when I was a kid.
Right.
So I just hated you because of the way you treated me.
Correct.
But then, because I was a little bit delinquent, because I was raised by a little bit of a delinquent, I had a child very early. And I was like, damn, this is really hard. And I don't know what I'm doing, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, then I had this like aha moment, like, if she felt the way I feel right now, the only difference is I have the information that maybe she didn't have, so I'm not going to repeat the same thing.
How'd you have that epiphany?
Just honestly, like, holding my son and being like, wow, this is not going to be easy.
But I don't feel like a lot of people get that.
I just think my epiphany was because, okay, my mom used to drink a lot, right? So, you know, I'll never forget this story.
Did you have anybody, like, influencing your life, like a godly something?
A lot of them. I was actually, man,
yeah,
it's funny.
I think that's what happened to me, is I had a lot of godly influences in my
life. I was
life.
just about to complain, though, that I didn't have that. And then I sang it, and I caught myself out loud, and I corrected myself. I was like, wait a minute. I had a ton of, like, these godfathers and godmothers that God specifically put in my life. That's why it's so important as a community
to live that way.
You have to live that way, or you're going to be alone.
That's the only way we're going to break those generations.
I know we got to go. I got to tell you this story.
So
I live in Detroit, Michigan, border city to Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We're going back and forth. We have a lot of snow, okay? So I'm like 12 years old. My mom's stupid drunk. I'm pissed, but I'm 12 now. My conscience is starting to evolve. I'm like, Mom, you're drunk. You probably shouldn't drive us home, right? So at that time, my stepdad, who's like my mom's slave because he just loves her so much that he enables all of her terrible behavior. So I say to him, because I'll never call him dad, I'm like, Lionel, which he's a great man. I'm just saying at that time I was such an angry kid. I was like, Lionel, you're an idiot. You're going to let her drive. You are not a man. This is me at 12, like, you are not a man. If I was a man and I was in control of this, I would never let her drive, right? So he backhands me, right? Because he's like, you actually did say something true, but you're a kid. And this is me imagining what's going on in his mind. Anyway, we get in the car. We're getting ready to cross the border. In Windsor, Ontario to Detroit, there's just a bridge that you cross, and you got to go through. There's a border patrol officer, yada, yada, yada. So I say to my mom and Lionel, put your seatbelts on. I actually said the F word. I'm like, I'm 12. I'm like, put your seatbelts on. That's the first thing they're going to notice. And if they don't notice that, they're also going to notice the burning cigarettes in the middle of the console. And we're going to get pulled in, and you're going to be drunk, and I'm going to get taken away.
Isn't that crazy that people used to smoke in
Listen,
cars?
I'm 12, and I'm like, they're going to take me from you idiots, and I'm going to end up in the system if you don't put on your seatbelts and put out these cigarettes. So anyway, they listen to me. We get through the border. I'm arguing with my mom now, and she literally kicked me out of a moving van. My shoe fell off, and I walked to the... Now, they drove away.
Left you?
These are two adults that are in charge of my 12-year-old, 13-year-old life. They drove away, And I walked over into the Border Patrol agent by myself with one shoe on, one sopping wet sock, and a white and blue.
How far was it?
Maybe 20 yards. I get in there, and there's 2 officers in there. And they're like, what happened to you? I'm like, oh, I was just leaving the Amex, and, one of my shoes fell off and it, got in a slush puddle. I'm just going to call my buddy to pick me up. I call one of my delinquent buddies who also has an alcoholic mother because, birds of a feather. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, I'm at the border right now. I need somebody to come and get me. His mom, who also had a slave of a boyfriend who did whatever she said because he was just so blindly in love.
What is wrong with
this? Is like the dichotomy of I'm living in a parallel universe. Literally comes and picks me up. And I realized at that time, wow, I'm going to have to make a lot of decisions for myself for my whole entire life. So you asked me a question earlier. How did you get that way?
Yeah.
It's all from the adversities.
Were you the oldest of your siblings?
Youngest.
Oh. See, I'm the oldest. I felt always responsible for my brothers, which a lot of times I was.
But imagine being the youngest feeling that.
Yeah.
Like I was the youngest and like that's how crazy. I felt.
I wonder how my brother felt.
Probably a lot. Like if he was like safe with you, he felt good, right? He probably felt bad for you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I just remember thinking to myself, like...
He took his life when he was 18. Yeah.
So definitely bad for you.
It's got to be hard on the younger ones.
Almost like a burden.
Yeah. All right, man. We got to wrap up.
All right.
I'm getting the finger from Dick.
You're getting the finger from Dick. That's usually what happens. Anyway.
He's like, I hate you right now. We're done. You're fired. You're out of here.
Please don't fire her, Rich. Okay.
Love you. Bye, guys. Talk to you soon.